and respect delegates and dear friends. I'm honored to have a chance to be here to have to communicate with you. My presentation, the title of my presentation is One Belt and One Road Initiative and Islamic Economic Community. And some of you may say, what's that? What's that? Last year, when I mentioned about these things with my friend Brian, he said, Lin, what's that? The Silk Road things? It's a land one or it's a maritime ones? I said both. Okay, I will give a presentation today. Now I'm here to give this presentation. My presentation composed by 4 parts. And before I go to my first part, I think I need to put forward my question and mention about 2 new terms that some of you may be familiar with and some of you may not. First, our questions. Since the topic of this session is spiritual capital and economic development. So I raise a question for myself. I want to solve this problem here. What can Islamic spiritual capital do for the economic development, especially in today's China, and how to fulfill it? Please keep this in your mind. And we got some new terms. One is One Belt and One Road Initiative. Another is Islamic Economic Community. I call it IEC. I hope you won't mistake it as IE, Explorer. Yes. Okay, it's IEC. So we go to our first part. What is One Belt and One Road Initiative? As my friend Brian said, what's that ghost? Okay. It is some new term. In fact, it is come from in September 2013, and it put forward by Chinese President Xi Jinping when he gave a speech in some university in Kazakhstan. And he suggests that China and Central Asia should join hands to build a Silk Road economic belt to boost cooperation. And just 1 month late, okay, it is in it's in October the same year. President Xi Jinping gave another speech in Indonesia. This time it's in Indonesia. And he said that China and the Association of Southeast Asia Nations will promote maritime cooperation and build a 21st century maritime Silk Road. So it's both. As we know, the ancient Silk Road, we have two lines. The upper line is across the land, and the another is a sea line, or we call it maritime line, is another one. So this One Belt and One Road initiative include both. And what's more, I think when President Xi put forward this new term, he also put some new things into it. Not just as same as the ancient Silk Road. No, I don't think so. I think he put some new ideas. What's that? For example, win-win relationship with between or among the countries. It's not a Ivan Euro scheme. I would say that is fact. That is not cooperation. So it's really quite new idea. So we go to our second part. What is Islamic Economic Community? Okay, IEC. I would say by discussing the theories about the economics of religion, it reminds us that the religion and the economics can not only be influenced by each other, but also can be the form of each other. Islam, as far as Islam is concerned, it is both a modeler of economics and the economic entity at the same time, which I use the term the Islamic Economic Community. That is IEC. What I mean by this term. And it has two aspects: the cultural ones and the religious ones. It is Islamic culture that provide the norm for Islamic economy, while it is the Islamic religion that makes the Islamic economy an entity. So you can see we have two directions here. One is the cultural ones, another is the religious ones. And I will follow the cultural ones. So we go to the third part of this presentation, Islamic culture as the norm. What's that norm? That is, I will explain. As we know, the French sociologist Bourdieu, when he mentioned about capital, he found there exist at least three kind of capitals. The first one is economic capital. The second one is social capital. And the third is cultural capital. And another sociologist, Rodney Stark, he's famous for his religious theory of religious market. He also mentioned about religious capital, and he used the economic terms to understand what happened in religious field. That is investment and rewards. For example, investment. If you invest some money in Beijing, for example, to buy one apartment 3 or 4 years before, now you will reward a lot because the apartment in China, in Beijing, is really expensive now. But what stock means is you involve to your religion by your commitment, by your devotion, and you get your rewards. What's that rewards? I don't know. Maybe integrity and maybe something else. But for me, I think Bourdieu's theory is more comprehensive. So we can see this is some theories about religious capital, and that is the norm provided by Islamic culture. Do you remember our first direction? Okay, somebody said it is impossible. Why? Because first, Sino civilization versus Islamic civilization, because they are quite a different civilization. Can one civilization use a norm from another civilization to as some cultural capital? It is impossible. People may think they are quite different. Another question is some people believe that China is an atheist society now, so it will fight against or even attack all kinds of theism. Is that true? Especially monotheism, let's say Islam, Christianity, and maybe Judaism. Is that true? Okay, I give you some data. It is said the religious population in China now is about 0.3 billion in China now. What's that? It's near 20% of total Chinese population. So if Chinese society fights against all kinds of religion, all kinds of religious adherence, where this population, religious population come? So we go back to our question. Some people say that is impossible, but I say it is impossible. And in fact, we are doing on that direction and doing very well. So let's go back to give some proof of this direction. First, do you have Islam in China? Of course we have. Do I have Muslim? If you have Islam, you have a Muslim, then you can use that norm, right? Okay, where do we have Islam? Of course we have, and quite a long time. Where is it from? Of course, it's from Arabia, and when it's 7th century. It's quite earlier. And what's the position, social position of Islam in China? That is, it already accepted by Chinese society as a subculture, as a tradition of some minorities. And Chinese people will use a special name to call Chinese Islam. That is the religion of purification and truth, 清真教 at first. And then there appears another name, that is the religion of Hui. So we can see the understanding of Chinese people's understanding about Islam is quite different in different period. First, they understand Islam according to some of its characters, and then it understands Islam according to the minorities, about the peoples who believe that religion. So Islam tradition in China is quite long. It's so long. And do we have Muslims? Of course we have. Chinese Benin Muslims. As we know, the total population of Chinese Muslims now is about 30 million. And it composed by 10 ethnic groups. And these 10 ethnic groups is officially regarded as Muslim groups. And we have Hui, and we have Uyghur, and among other 8 ethnic groups. This picture is from a Salah Muslim, and people believe their ancestors are Mongolians, and they usually live in the northwest part of China. And there is a short history of Islam in China. First phrase is the Tang to Song dynasty, that is about 7th century to 13th century. And at that time, Chinese people call Muslim as foreigner, 番客. And the community where the community of their community as 番坊, that means foreigner and foreign community. And at that time, the Muslim, Chinese Muslim are usually they are from Arabia or Persia. And the second phase is Mongolia and the Yuan period. That is about 17th century to 14th century. And what's happened in that time? we have lots of Muslim newcomers from Middle Asia and even West Asia coming to China with the Mongolia army. And the third phase is the signalization of Islam, that is Ming and Qing dynasty. That is about 14th century to 20th century. And the fourth phase is the phase of Republic of China period. That is about the first half of 20th century. And the fifth phase is about the People's Republic of China period. That is the after 1949. And this is a young Muslim student at the Republic period. And what's this building? Is that a Buddhism temple or Taoism temple? Of course not. It's a mosque. It's a great mosque in Xi'an, in my hometown. So it's a mosque, not a temple. So you can go there and see. And this one is in the middle part of China, in Xi'an. And this mosque is in the east part, in Jiangsu province. And you can see green color is Islamic ones, and the red color is Chinese ones. And you can see they use the terms of Confucianism to show their religious feelings. For example, 直 means peace, 敬 means respect. And you can see the local senior Muslim is prepared to worship in the main building of the mosque. And what's that? And according to the characters here, this building is used to observe the months. Why? Because in Ramadan months, we need to observe the moon. So this building is used to observe the moon. And this one, what's that? This one is Kumpe. Do you know that word? Kumpe, the tomb, graveyard of some Sufi leaders. Yeah, that is in Gansu province, in northwest part of China. So it's really typical Chinese one. Of course, we have Arabic style ones, but I want to show you some typical Chinese ones. Okay, then we can get a little conclusion that for China, we have Chinese Islam have so long history, and we have so many Muslims. So we are so capable to use that norm which provided by Islamic culture. And how you use that, especially in today's China. This is the picture. This gentleman is the Chinese Prime Minister Li Keqiang when he gave his presentation on the China and Arab Economics and Trade Forum. That is in 2012. Okay. Okay, I will hurry up. I will mention about Ningxia, the yellow one. Maybe it is the smallest province in China. And why Ningxia? Because Ningxia is a Hui autonomous region, and many Hui Muslim people live there. And so in recent years, the local Muslim and the Chinese government make many efforts to build the cooperation between China and the Arabic world. For example, China Arab National Economic and Trade Forum, China and Arab State Exposition, and the Ningxia Inland Opening Up Parallel Economic Zone. And this is the logo of that exposition. And this is the special building is for memorial the friendship between China and the Arabic world. We call it the China and the Arab axis, and the local Muslim welcome the delegates from Arab world. And some businessmen may asking some of the information he is interested in. And this is the forum about the energy and the delegates from Middle East. And here, I want to mention a Chinese Muslim girl. She wear her hand scarf, and he also sold some Muslim women's hand scarf and clothes and some other things, Muslim products. And here we can see some local young people. They present, you can hear the characters here, China, Arab states, economic, blah, blah, blah. And I want to say the cooperation between China and Arab, they change the life of local people, especially the young generation, a lot. Because as you know, Ningxia is inland province, and it's quite dry. So at first, the poverty, sorry, I need some time. The poverty is the most immediate issue, but it's solved by the cooperation between China and the Arabic world. And what is the achievement? Okay, the picture is not this year's, it's 2013, but the data are this year's. In 2015, China Arab State Exposition, we got 163 investment projects, and they have more than 170 billion yuan investment amount. Okay, we go to our last part. Can we go further? That is, I would raise a question about would Islamic economy become more inclusive? What does that mean? Okay, first, can China's Muslim minorities be a part of IEC? Okay, I would say frankly, I'm from a Chinese Muslim family. I'm a Hui. Okay, so I can say something here. Were Chinese Muslim minorities who live in the non-Muslim nations were rejected by international Islamic organizations? Of course not. As far as I know, in OIC, they have a department for Muslim minorities. But I think it is from negative side. If they want to care about you, that means you already in some trouble, poverty or something else. I want to say we need to think another way, more positive way. That means we need to go into OIC and say something on behalf of ourselves. Okay, 1 minute. Can people from other faiths be a part of IEC? We have Halali product, and we have Halali economics. And in this process, people from other faiths involved. So can they be the part of OEC? Can China become a member of OIC? I would say there are many international Islamic organizations. For example, OIC, we have 57 members and 5 observers. Most of the members are Muslim countries, but the observers are not. For example, Russian and Thailand. So my suggestion, the last word, my suggestion is China should be accepted as an observer, maybe the sixth country, an observer member of OIC as soon as possible. Okay, thank you for your patience.